Now we are going to listen to the welcoming remarks delivered by His Excellency Han Sang-ok, Deputy Minister for Multilateral and Global Affairs of the Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Please welcome him to the podium with a big round of applause.
His Excellency Thomas Hyder, Vice President of the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, His Excellency Jin Hyun Baek, His Excellency Ambassador Markian Kulik, His Excellency Oscar Cabello Sarubi, and Her Excellency Niru Chada, Judges of the Tribunal, Professor Deok-young Park, President of the Korean Society of International Law, distinguished panelists and participants from all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the 5th International Conference on the Law of the Sea. It is indeed a privilege for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be hosting the conference in cooperation with the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea and the Korean Society of International Law. I would like to thank Vice President Hyder, Judge Baek, and other judges from the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, as well as President Park and members of the Korean Society of International Law. I also welcome all the panelists and participants joining us online. We have invited experts from home and abroad to hear about their experience and the progress made in their research under the theme of regional cooperation and marine environment protection under UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. COVID-19 pandemic may have prevented us from meeting face to face, but it didn't stop us, enthusiasts of the law of the sea, from gathering online to share our views. This year marks the 5th anniversary of the International Conference on the Law of the Sea. At the last 4 conferences, we have been graced with the presence of many renowned experts in the law of the sea. I take this opportunity to thank all the previous panelists who contributed greatly to the growing international stature of this conference. The discussions we had over the last 5 years could not have been as constructive without support of ICLS. The Tribunal has played a key role in bridging the dialogue between the judiciary and academia. At the previous conferences, ICLS members had insightful interactions with distinguished scholars in the law of the sea, and this is, I believe, one of ICLS' most important contributions to strengthening the rule of law in the ocean. Over the last 15 years, the Tribunal has served as the principal judicial guardian of the legal order of the oceans. It has developed and elaborated on the rules and principles of the law of the sea through its jurisprudence and promoted academic discourse about uncharted territories deserving the attention of the legal community. I would like to take this moment to express my heartfelt appreciation for the Tribunal's unconditional support for our conference as well as for its service to the international community. The ocean has been a realm of boundless possibilities from the beginning of civilization, and the desire to explore and exploit her served as a driving force for economic prosperity throughout history. At the forefront of such a drive in the last half-century was the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. The convention extended national jurisdictions into vast offshore spaces, which served as a catalyst for the development of marine resources and international transportation. Yet, prosperity did not come without a cost. Recent years have witnessed an alarming level of ocean degradation by human activities, mainly due to marine litters, microbeads, and radioactive water releases. Biodiversity in marine environment and the marine ecosystem have also been exposed to serious danger. The UN announced in 2019 that around two-thirds of the marine environment is significantly altered by human activities, and more than a third of all marine mammals are under great threat. The current situation, as the report put it, deserves transformative changes to restore and protect nature. I believe the answers to this problem can be found in the Convention, often referred to as the Ocean Charter, as it provides a detailed list of the obligations of member states for protecting and preserving the marine environment. The Convention also stipulates in its preamble that the legal order of the seas and oceans it creates shall preserve marine living resources and preserve the marine environment. Considering that a healthy marine environment provides a foundation for all life, it is not a big surprise that the Convention takes such obligations seriously. It is important to bear in mind what the drafters of the Convention thought for the path towards protecting the marine environment. Part 12 of the Convention, which specifically deals with protection and preservation of marine environment, stresses the importance of cooperation between states. This is because while the Convention may draw lines in the ocean, nature never does. Our right to use marine resources may cease to exist at the border of jurisdictional zones, but the duty to protect the environment doesn't. The ocean is a dynamic ecosystem that requires an innovative and comprehensive legal mechanism for protection regardless of which coastal states she borders with. Yet, the Convention left us room for imagination on how member states should cooperate in protecting the marine environment. It requires member states to notify damage to others, develop contingency plans, and exchange information if required, but we still have many blanks to fill regarding regional cooperation for keeping our oceans sustainable. For instance, what kind of regional arrangements should be made in order to facilitate marine environment protection? What are the codes of conduct the member states should follow in protecting the environment for overlapping maritime areas? Which activities are to be deemed as a violation of Part 12 of the Convention and subject to the dispute settlement mechanism? These are some of the questions that our distinguished panelists will be discussing at this year's conference, which is indeed very timely considering that more than half of the targets on the SDG 14 are approaching their deadline this year. Ladies and gentlemen, protecting the marine environment is a straightforward task, but applying it to the real world isn't. The insights and inputs of the panelists, as well as those of the participants worldwide joining us today, will light the way forward. I am confident that our joint efforts to harness the collective wisdom of those from academia and the judiciary will pave the way for a more systematic approach to protecting the marine environment through the UN Convention. I hope today's conference will have a constructive effect on the development of the law of the sea, and I wish you all the best. I thank you very much.